Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Do you ever get to the point where you're just like, this is getting ridiculous and I just need to do something about it? That's now. That's for me, that's these bump dates. I am going to just bring the camera along today and we're gonna be hopping around traveling, and I am going to be sharing with you my catch-up bump date. We are going to be talking about everything that I was feeling, symptoms, cravings, ultrasounds, all the fun stuff between 11 weeks and 19 weeks. I think it might be a little loud here, but let's get started. Okay, dinner check. I am going to briefly go through each week because I kept notes on things that I was feeling.
Yeah, you did.
So 11 and 12. Okay, so 11 and 12 weeks, the couple of symptoms that I felt I wasn't expecting was this rib pain, like an actual rib. I could pinpoint exactly, and I would say this rib hurts. And I mentioned it in the vlog, and I had a bunch of you guys say that it happened to you and it went away after birth. I also noticed that I had a like kind of pounding heart, and it went away, but when I would lay down at night, it wasn't bad. It was almost like I did like a workout. So I don't know if it was just my body changing, but I would lay down and I could actually like feel my heart. So it was like something I'm like, should I keep an eye on this? But it ended up going away, so it's fine. And then I think the other major 11 and 12 week symptom was that was my peak of being on prednisone. I had just puffed up and my face was kind of starting to get that moon face that you could see. A prednisone is a steroid they had me on to try to just do anything they could to keep my body from fighting off baby, if maybe that was possibly going on. And so right at 12 weeks is when I got to start weaning, but I was puffy, like my whole body, I could feel that extra fluid that was on me. But that is very IVF specific. For those of you who are coming here and don't watch our vlog channel, we were able to conceive through IVF. So that prednisone they put me on was very specific to an infertility journey. Along the lines, biggest change I would say was that for IVF, you were on pelvic rest up until 12 weeks. You literally turn 12 weeks, 0 days, and you are given the freedom to no longer be on pelvic rest. And for husbands, that is the hardest part of IVF.
This is what she said.
Oh no. That is even longer than people go after delivery. Like where you're not allowed for 6 to 8 weeks. But it's even longer than that. That is a full 9 weeks of abstinence. Oh, I almost forgot about the pelvic rest just because it's been a few weeks since that 12-week mark. I was super tentative and nervous once pelvic rest was over. So I think it's just very normal and understandable, but just that connection with your spouse is super important in life, in marriage, in general. We should talk about that more probably. Okay, so my 11 and 12 week cravings were pretty much just maybe a little bit more sweeter things. I think I just wanted a little more fruit and such, but nothing that was very specific to cravings. But the best part of 12 weeks was that we got to do our ultrasound and got to show the girls that we were expecting.
Where's the baby?
Right there. It's right there. That's
Right
the
there.
head, and it's moving. That's the
It's
spine.
moving.
And then there's the heart.
What do you think?
Baby.
Hi, baby.
Okay, let's quickly crank through my 13 and 14 week symptoms. You heard me talk a lot about taking a lot of magnesium, being very constipated that first trimester. It was probably the most uncomfortable part. I have found that I do not need to take as much magnesium. Maybe just one 300 milligram pill a day has been working so much better. I am very thankful that that part is past us in this pregnancy. And then that rib pain I was talking about that I had at 11 and 12 weeks, that completely went away. And I'm so surprised and thankful because a lot of people messaged me and said, yes, I had that. Doctors didn't really have an answer. It was fine and it didn't go away until after delivery. I'm very thankful that rib pain is gone. Okay, and then also right around 13, 14 weeks is when I completely switched to maternity clothes. Definitely pants. I could still fit in my shirts, but I got a couple of maternity shirts too to get a little bit more comfortable. Okay, let's talk about all of the medication. So I was on estrogen pills, estrogen patches, I was on progesterone injections, and I was on prednisone and heparin. So some clinics you can start weaning around like 8 weeks. We were slowly weaning, but because we were going and traveling and the labs weren't coming back, we weren't able to wean as quickly, and then a couple of times my body wasn't ready to wean. So we were still in the weaning process 13, 14 weeks. Whereas usually most people are completely off by like 12 or 13. I was still weaning. So with the weaning, I ended up getting a lot of major headaches. And so I have yet to take any ibuprofen through pregnancy. I was putting peppermint on my temples and the back of my neck. I was putting some ice on the back of my neck. And you can also put like your hands and feet in warm water while you put ice on the back of your neck. I've heard that. Pinching right here. You massage and kind of pinch that tender spot right between. And Philip would do that and it would kind of hurt, but it would relieve the headache just enough to be able to handle. And then also weaning off the medication, I think it made me feel more nauseated than I did the first trimester. I had been weaning off the prednisone, and one of the side effects, even though I got moon face and the weight gain and the fluid retention, a good side effect of prednisone is that it helps with morning sickness. So I didn't really feel nauseated very much, but coming off of progesterone, estrogen, maybe it was the prednisone, I don't know what it was, but I was definitely a little bit more nauseated, where I just definitely needed to eat a little something, maybe first thing in the morning or a couple times throughout the day. But the only thing that was hard with that is that sometimes nothing sounded good. So I usually would force myself to eat at least a couple crackers, or a green apple was my nauseated food of choice. And the other medication I went off of was the heparin. Right at 12 weeks, I was given the okay to go off of it. I was a little nervous, so I stayed on it for a little bit longer, but around 13 weeks, I had done a lot of research. I asked a lot of questions. I had gone to my 12-week ultrasound, talked to another doctor, and because I'm heterozygous, where I was only a 1 carrier of this factor V Leiden, which is my particular clotting disorder, I was comfortable going off of it. And then when we met with the perinatologist, which is the high-risk OB, we would ask them if that's for sure good, if they want me to go on it again towards the end of pregnancy or after delivery. We were just gonna wait and see what they wanted for me to do. Okay, let's talk about cravings and aversions. I really wanted this stew. I made the stew, took me hours, had 1 bowl of the stew, and then felt a complete aversion to it. I did not want it anymore. Philip said it was good, so he ate it, the girls ate it, but I had this big, huge pot of stew I no longer wanted. I even made Philip wash the pot. Like, I think that's been my major aversion through this pregnancy. But my other craving was Chipotle, green apples for the nausea, apple juice. I was getting apple juice from Trader Joe's, and Philip's like, did you go through that entire container of apple juice in just a couple of days? And I would just sit there and be like, yeah, I gave some to the girls. And then my last was white rice with soy sauce and vinegar. Sometimes I would do sesame oil, soy sauce, vinegar, and a little bit of the garlic chili paste. That combination always is my favorite, but definitely a craving 13, 14 weeks. Not a lot of nutrition, so I was trying to make sure I was eating other good things through the day, but if I was really hungry or feeling a little nauseated, like, that is something I really wanted. And then what fun updates we had 13, 14 weeks. We went to a couple of different clinics to check out some midwives, a birthing center, and so I was able to hear baby through a Doppler, and heart rate was 135.
Yeah.
In your bra.
What is that?
136.
But it wasn't until the 14, 15 week that we went to our next clinic, and that is where we decided where we were going to deliver. All right, friends, we are going to finish this bump date, I swear, by the end of the day. And I promise you the next one is going to be a much more fun, cohesive sit down. But we are gonna get this done. Let us talk about 14 to 16 week bump date section. Okay, let's start out with some symptoms. So I would say 14 to 16 weeks, I was absolutely, for sure, in maternity clothes. I had already kind of started switching over, but I was for sure in maternity clothes by then. There was one pair of pre-pregnancy pants that I could put on, but the only reason is because they were like my baggy, like boyfriend baggy jeans that like aren't really supposed to really touch, they just hang. I put them on, they were like slim fit. Those are the only pants, and I put them on and they were just not comfortable, so I quickly switched over to all pregnancy leggings, all pregnancy pants, and it was a lot more comfortable. Now I'm super impressed with people who can just wear their regular pants and wear a belly band because of that huge weight gain that you've heard me talk about with the prednisone. I just gained so much that my pants, I couldn't even get them past my thighs, like literally to my thighs, and I would pull them up, I'm like, not even wearing them unbuttoned. They're just not gonna go on. So I just had to splurge a little bit more on clothes than some people have to. But I have to say, between the 14-16 week mark is when my prednisone swelling and fluid retention started going down. It was amazing. I was fully weaned off by like 13.5 weeks, and I would say by 16 weeks I could start, mind you, start to feel that like my face wasn't quite as puffy. My arms still felt puffy, but like I didn't feel as, I don't even know how to explain it. You just feel kind of tight, if that makes any sense. So I didn't feel quite as bloated. I would just look down and see more of my baby bump versus feeling like I looked down and just felt, I just feel swollen everywhere. So it was fun to start feeling like, oh, I feel like I actually kind of look pregnant. And then it was during this time frame that we met with our delivery team. We decided on this birthing center that has different options. You can birth at the birthing center with a midwife, you can birth at the hospital with a midwife, or you can deliver at the hospital with the OB. So because it had such a wide range, and because we were IVF, we just didn't know how my body was going to go through the rest of the pregnancy. And so it was just really nice to know, no matter what happens, no matter how high risk I become, or if I become perfectly textbook pregnancy that's simple, no complications, either one, we would be with the same team. So we decided on that. But because we had an appointment, we got to hear Doppler and we heard baby's heart rate. We were 143. And the most fun symptom that happened right in that window was at 15 weeks and 5 days, I felt baby for the first time. I had been spending the entire 15-week window of like, do I not? And then it was one evening I was laying down on the booth in our RV and I just felt these little tickles. And I didn't want to say anything. And then 16 weeks and 1 day, I'm pretty sure I pulled out my phone and filmed it because I felt that tickle again, which felt the same. Okay, I do not want to get up from this position. I am on our bench in the kitchen. And a couple of days ago on Friday, I was 15 weeks 5. And then now that I'm 3 days later, back in the same spot, this is like the sweet spot, I think I feel it again. Like right now. Like the tiniest little bubbles. Not like, I don't know, bubbles. It's almost like a tickle. Like tiny little, just like tickles. I think, I don't know. I just was so excited to say, oh my goodness, I actually can feel baby inside of me. This is, when you go through so many years of thinking that you're never gonna experience pregnancy, and then you get to feel baby move, it's surreal, It's unbelievable. It's a blessing beyond a blessing. And I was just so thankful that I got to get to this point where I felt baby move inside of me. And it was so precious and so special. But between 14 and 16 weeks, it felt like a tickle. As a NICU nurse, I can visualize a 24-weeker. I can visualize a 22-weeker. My youngest patient I ever took care of was 22 weeks and 6 days. So I would kind of, in my mind, think, okay, now 16 weeks, you're kind of similar, you're just really tiny, and so your little kicks are like this. And so that's what I was feeling. Okay, let's quickly move on to some cravings while you can still hear me. My 14 to 16 weeks cravings were sushi and Chipotle. And my one aversion was melted butter on a frying pan. Philip was making pancakes and I'm like, is that butter? I don't know. I wanted butter. I wanted to eat butter, but the smell of melted butter on the pan, not so much. All right, you guys, we are in the home stretch of catching up on bump dates. I'm super excited. I wanted to catch up mostly for myself because I want to have documented what it was like throughout pregnancy. I don't know if this is the last time that we will get to experience it, so I'm just blessed and thankful for each week, each moment that I get. So I wanted to jump in and talk about 17 to 19 weeks. What did I experience? So in this time, I definitely dropped the rest of the water weight that I had gained through prednisone. I could just feel that it came off. I think I had even dropped like a few pounds, kind of checking on the scale. I gained them pretty quick back. But it was more in weight gain and baby versus that extra fluid retention, which was amazing. But at my appointment, I had even cried because I had gained this 30 pounds by 16 weeks and I was just uncomfortable and I was scared that I was gonna just keep gaining at this rapid rate and it wasn't gonna be healthy for baby. And the midwife was, you know, she's like, it's okay, we can gain weight. It's just, you know, let's just double check your thyroid. So they actually went ahead and checked my thyroid to make sure where this, because 30 pounds in 16 weeks is pretty darn rapid. And so she checked it, thyroid came back fine, and then sneak peek into future bump date, I have kind of plateaued since then. And I think the prednisone really made the weight gain go this way, but some people, this is just how they gain weight. That first chunk of pregnancy, they gain all that weight, and then the second trimester kind of plateau out and maybe just gain a little bit of weight at the end. And I think that's what my body is doing. But in this period of time, I also started exercising more. I was just feeling so good. That 17 to 20 weeks, I was definitely past the first trimester. I was still tiny, so I could bend over and move and jump and jiggle, and I felt great. So I was definitely working out more. Again, sneak peek into future bump dates. Not working out as much as I should, but maybe this will help remind me that I was feeling so good exercising, so maybe I'll get back to that. And the last thing I want to remember is during that period of time, I had first felt baby move at that 16 mark, and it was just these little tickles. And 17 weeks through 19 weeks, they just started getting more firm. I started feeling baby move every day. It was tickles, and then it started turning into what I would say like are more like a little pressure. Like it was still pretty tickle, and it wasn't big kicks by any means, but it was a little more bump bump instead of as light, if that makes any sense. And I would feel baby at mealtime, especially in the evening. And so it was just really exciting to know that I could feel baby every single day, just to give that reassurance and comfort that everything is going okay. I don't know if it's just because of our journey, because I feel like once you pass that 12-week mark, you're good to go. No more stress, no more worries, don't be nervous. But I think actually, I just wanted to make sure baby was okay. And being able to feel was very reassuring and amazing. And I just felt so blessed. So guys, we are caught up. We have officially talked about bump date from 11 weeks to 19 weeks. I'm excited to get this video out to you. The next 5-month bump date is coming your way soon after this video, so keep an eye out. If you haven't already, you can hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and come back and we are going to be sharing this journey together, and I have so many exciting things I want to share with you guys, and I'm just so thankful for you. I don't think I say that enough. I am so thankful to each and every one of you, because it's because of you and because of your encouragement, because of your love and your support, that I'm able to continue to make videos like this, and it's just such a blessing, and I just love doing life with you guys. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.